Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the final round of the Wednesday Cup, presented to you by AK Racing. We're here racing tonight at Adelaide Street Circuit, possibly one of the best street circuits in the world, home to the Clipsal 500 and other events. Started off in the early Grand Prix days in the 80s. The Formula Ones would race around here. Absolutely mad, if you ask me. But here we are tonight with some Toyota 86 racing. It's the final round. Did I mention that? Now, Hallett and Mello are the two drivers who are in contention to take this championship. Excuse me. I think there's about 11 points between them, so Mello is ahead by 11 points, and we were doing the sums earlier, and if Hallett wins all three races, he can beat Nick Mello tonight. But Nick Mello was telling me earlier he just has to get over the top of him in one race and he might be clear. So we can see what'll happen. Everyone at home, join us. There's certainly going to be some exciting racing coming up, not just between these two, but the whole field. Got Alex McEwen back for some more. He's sporting that pink Japanese-themed livery that you cannot miss. So we'll expect some good racing from him. Tyler Craig's back again. Good to see Tyler back here at AK Racing. He took a bit of a hiatus for a little while. Too many girls, he says. Couldn't focus on sim racing. Anyway, Ryan Kennedy just avoiding Joe Gillespie there on track. So he's been pretty good this season as well, Ryan Kennedy. I think he missed a round, so that sort of puts him out of the title fight, but certainly one of the top guys on pace alone, and racecraft and all of that good stuff. Is the driver's still trying to work out the best way around this street circuit. It's certainly not easy. There's some curbs that you don't want to take. There are some curbs that you do want to take. And there's definitely a lot of walls that you do not want to be running into. Jesse Lenol back in the server tonight for some more 86 action. It's the final time these drivers are going to get to drive these cars for the foreseeable future, as at the end of this round we're going to be switching cars here at the Wednesday Cup. We're going to be going to the Caterham Academy cars, so something a little bit different, sort of halfway between an open wheeler and a closed. If you've never seen the Caterhams before, they're a pretty popular racing category, as they're fairly accessible to everyone. Fairly cheap to run, and set of tyres can last a whole season, apparently. I wouldn't want to be doing that myself, but see how we go. Eliza Jackson is back in the server. I struggle with that name. It's a bit of a tongue twister for me. Elijah Jackson. Don't ask me to say it 5 times fast, because I will fail. I will fail saying it once fast, but you'll just have to get used to that tonight. Joe Gillespie, Mr. Consistent, is back in the server tonight as we finish off free practice for the evening, and that is that. We're going to check out the times here. We've got Wade Hallett in front by 0.2 to Nick Mello, who is another 0.2 clear, or just about, to Alex McEwen. So those top three guys are all very close. And then you've got Kennedy, Craig and Lenol, all very close as well. And then we got Jackson, Gillespie, and I think Wells joined the server as well. But that is the conclusion of free practice 1. We will be back very shortly, so everyone go and grab a drink, grab a cup of tea, grab a packet of bickies, whatever you want to do on this Wednesday night. And we will be back very shortly with qualifying. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Just waiting to get into the server here for qualifying. And we're in. Let's have a guess who is on track first. It's our man, Nick Mello. I knew it. We're going to ride... Hang on, where are we? We're going to ride on board with Nick and see how he warms his tyres up for this out lap, and then we'll ride on board with him for his hot lap and just see how aggressive he can be around this world-class street circuit located in Adelaide. It's apparently Jesus' favourite town, city. A lot of churches here in Adelaide. There's a place called the Veal Gardens. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that, but I'll tell you what that is, a very obscure reference that no one will get. As he pulls it up for turn 9. Hangs it out sideways. Oh, he's collected the wall on the outlap. That is not ideal. I wonder if Nick is dealing with a bit of damage right now, which is not ideal at all in a very short qualifying session. So he's just going to have to brush that off and try and find a bit of pace with a bit of a damaged rear quarter. Possibly some suspension damage at the back there, but he's going to push on anyway. So come down into turn 1 and 2 chicane. You've got to be very careful of that inside tyre bundle, and you can be pretty liberal with that second part of the chicane. You can pretty much jump it. You will get a track cut and your lap invalidated if you take too much liberty there. Oh, he's just sort of missed the apex there. Couldn't quite get on the brakes good enough. Good enough. Through the staircase. Now, it's been a couple of weeks since I've commentated anything, so I'm a little bit rusty. Very tired old daddy is me right now as he comes through the final part of the staircase. Jumps over the curb and now sets his way down the back straight. There's a bit of traffic up ahead. This could get interesting if this car is in the way when we come to turn 8. This has got to be one of the most dangerous turns in Australian motorsport. Just a little blend there from Nick. Very well navigated. Gets on the brakes just after the 100 mark. Down through the gears. Wants to get into second gear. He does. Angus Wells just on the track there, getting out of the way wisely for our first man around the track, Nick Mello. Gets it pointed in. Oh, big slide, and that's going to cost him a little bit of time there in the third sector. So far, it's been a fairly tidy lap. I don't know how long the tyres take to come up to temp and press, but I'd say they're just about there. Looking at the sort of the body language of this car. So he's going to cross the line, Nick Mello, for a 140.5. So we're going to check on his competitor now and see what he does. He goes 4/10 quicker, a 140.1. But he also has a bit of traffic in front of him here, so he's going to have to be careful trying to navigate this. There's a car there, the mallet. You can't go through him. Excuse me. As Ryan Kennedy jumps up to third spot on the ladder, but he's immediately eclipsed by Alex McEwen, who is only 800ths off the provisional pole at the moment. So we're just going to keep an eye on what happens up there, because I'll tell you what, Alex is one of the quicker drivers here, and it looks like he's in a mood to set a statement to these guys battling it out for the championship. Oh, a bit of a slap on the wall there from Kennedy as well. That's going to kill his momentum for now. Coming out of the staircase, it's fairly important to get good momentum out of that last turn to maximise your speed down this straight here. It's a very long straight for these cars, not being the quickest in a straight line. So you've certainly got time to look in the mirror, do your makeup, get it all sorted for that scary as shit turn 8, and then big braking section there in turn 9. I feel like we're going to see a lot of overtakes through into turn 9 there. This last section, It's tentative. It looks like the rear end really wants to dip out into that turn there as he went through. Going under the AK Racing footbridge, should I say. And he's coming up behind. Angus Wells seems to be just in everyone's way at the moment. It gets out of the way nicely. And he will set off on his hot lap. But what can Kennedy do? Can he improve on that 140.8? He does not this time. So we're going to jump back to Tyler Craig as he's just started. Looks like he's coming into the... Well, it looks like the third sector now. Nick Mello has only improved by a tenth on his original hot lap, should I say. Tyler Craig coming around the final turn. We're going to see what sort of times he's going to be putting down. Looks like this could be an out lap anyway. Yeah, he must have come in for a new set of boots and or a bit of panel work to straighten up that car. As we know, it's very easy to come off around here and cause a shitload of damage. So he's just starting his hot lap now. We're going to check on Mr. Jackson, who's just starting his lap, so that's good. We're going to ride on board with Jackson and see how he takes this circuit. Takes it very wide, takes a bit of a curb on entry and the apex curb, which is good. I like the idea. You wanna make that racing line as I guess as smooth as possible. Hallett has now dipped into the 39s, and not just dipped in, but has taken a full half a second out of it. So he's half a second now on Alex McEwen with 30 seconds remaining in this session. So that is certainly a statement and a perfect time to throw up a server personal best there from the Mallet, as he's known now in the commentary box and out in the rest of the world. Big braking sector. He's really on the brakes late there, is Elijah Jackson. It looks like he was about halfway between the 50 and the 100. When we were riding on board there earlier with Mello, he was sort of braking in just after the 100 board. So certainly he's got a handle on these brakes and these 86s. So if that's anything to go by, it should be a fairly decent lap. Can he improve? So this will be his last shot. No, he's not happy with it. He's doing donuts. Slides it across the line. But that is not going to improve there for Jackson. We'll set it up here and see if anyone else is coming over the line. I think Hallett is on a hot lap. This looks like Mello coming across the line now. Can he get up onto that front row and challenge Hallett for this first race? He cannot. There is Hallett in the background sliding because he knows that he has just secured pole for race 1 of this evening. Who's this coming across the line now? Looks to be... I think it was Lenol, was it? No, this is Lenol. Here's McEwen. He does not improve either. So that is your final, I guess, qualifying order. We've got Hallett, McEwen off the front row. Kennedy and Mello behind. Lenol and Craig behind them. Jackson, Gillespie and Wells off the back row. Tell you what, ladies and gents, we're about to see some fireworks here. If Mello can get a good start, he'll want to be right up behind... he'll be right up behind the Mallet as soon as he can, and try and challenge him for this race win, and try and knock him down a few rungs. But that's something we're going to have to wait for. It's going to be maybe a couple minutes wait, so go and recharge your drinks and get organised, and we'll be back here very shortly for race 1 of the evening. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, for our first race of the night. Why is that gone to the 16-minute mark? Well, that's interesting. We've it's a 16-minute race. It should be a 15. I hope no one's going to run out of fuel as a result of that, but that's my bad. I'm just going to check the server to see if I've done the right thing. That should be 15 minutes. Okay, I don't know what's going on then. All right, it says 16, but I'm sure it'll fix itself up. Anyway, we have Hallett and McEwen off the front row. Kennedy and Mello. Lenol and Craig. Jackson, Gillespie and Wells bringing up the rear. Anyone out there watching, who is your money on in this race? It's going to be, I think it's going to be tight. Alex has the outside line for this section, but it's going to be hard to squeeze two cars through there. So someone's going to have to give, I think. Someone's going to have to yield. Otherwise, there could be carnage when we have a look at what's waiting for them down here at turn 1. As you can see, my free cam skills are nothing. So we're going to go back to the action as we have a race start imminent. We got the lights on. The lights are out, and we are racing in the final round of the Wednesday Cup. It looks like a pretty even start. It looks like Wade Hallett has actually got the whole shot here, and he's going to slot into P1 nicely. Looks like Kennedy's made up a couple of positions there behind, and he will come into third position. Mello just playing it safe, and he's just going to tuck up behind Kennedy. Kennedy going defensive, actually, so he is on the defense there from Nick Mello, who is... Oh, he slapped the wall, and he's around. That is huge. That's a huge contact for Mello, and that is... really going to put a dampener on his championship hopes. Mello is not going to be happy with that. I don't know what happened. It looks like just two cars went a bit too wide there at turn 3, and both of them ended up clipping that outside fence. Terrible luck for Mello, but he's got a long time to make up those positions. Tyler Craig now. He's up to P6, and he's pressuring Joe Gillespie in front. We're going to try and follow him through here on whoa, he's hit the fence there at turn 8. First time of asking. You don't want to be doing that too often. Oh, he's going to go for the big send. Now that almost was a textbook Tyler Craig send, and it looks like Jackson's making a move on Jesse Lenol early. Jesse's just tagged him on the outside. He's going to have to wait for him there. That was a bit clumsy there from Lenol. Poor old Jackson has lost about 6 positions because of that. Sure, it wasn't intentional, but look at the gaggle of cars that's happening here. Oh, no. Oh, dear. It's all happening now, ladies and gentlemen. That was my car that was sitting on the grid. I haven't done that in a while. See what happens. I take 2 weeks off and everything goes to shit. Oh, God. Anyway, back to the lead. We've got McEwen and Hallett battling for the JP. Yep. There's a few things that still need a bit of work, JP Racing. Trust me on that. One of which is taking my car off the grid, which I was silly enough to put it on there in the first place. As I was explaining earlier, see what happens when you take 2 weeks off. Everything goes to shit. So back here we've got a 3-4-way car battle. Yeah, absolutely. Oops. We've got a 4-way battle here coming down the back of the back straight here at Adelaide. We're going to jump on board with, I guess it's Mello, and see what he's looking at here. They're going too wide through turn 8. That is very brave. Nick adds a bit more damage to that 86, who I can assure is already very much damaged. It looks like Kennedy's going up the inside, and he will take that position. But he's left the door open, and Tyler Craig's just got his nose up in beside. They're going to go 3 wide around this. Look at this. Joe Gillespie right in the thick of it as well. They're going to have to slot in single file now to head down to the final turn. It looks like Nick Mello is going to be setting himself up here for a bit of a send into the final turn. Can he get it pulled up? He can. Absolutely well done there from Nick Mello, our championship leader at this point. But I think if we adjust the live standings, it will put Hallett on top as it stands. So he's got a fair bit of ground to make up, Mello, if he wants to keep 2 hands on this championship. We will find out in 11 short minutes. Looking around now, it looks like Jackson up behind Gillespie. Poor old Jackson got turned around there earlier. It looks as if Lenol has... We're going to say he's redressed it because we do respectful racing here at Wednesday Cup. Nothing but the best. So I've just been informed by my co-commentator that it will be me alone tonight. So that's all right. You guys get to deal with my soothing dulcet tones. There is a change for the lead. It looks like McEwen has just driven around the outside of Wade Hallett. And that is the lead change there. Sorry, I've got a fair bit going on my screen right now. So we've seen this before from the mallet, Wade Hallett. He will get out to a blinding qualifying session and first few laps of the race. But I feel like when the tyres start to wear, that's when I think the stress levels start to turn up. And we see his pace sort of drop off a bit. And it looks like, McEwen, a little bit of a kiss on the wall there outside turn 3. And Hallett's going to send it up the inside. There's not a lot of room there. McEwen's had to open the steering to, I think, avoid an accident there. But he's going to return the favour here and send it up the inside. And Hallett just narrowly avoids the outside wall there. And it's play on so far, back to the original positions. But it's all about this. It's all about this exit. No one has ever told me I sound like Bon Scott, but they have told me I'm on the highway to hell. And I'm trying to think of other AC/DC references I can chuck in, but I will do that as the night progresses. Wade Hallett looking to chuck it up the inside there. Does get a better exit, but McEwen is on the correct side of the track, so he's going to go defensive there into, I think it's turn 11. If someone wants to look that up and correct me, that'd be good. There's a bit of change for position down the order there. It looks like Tyler Craig is right up behind Nick Mello, giving him a bit of curry to think about. But we're not going to we're not going to look away from this lead battle at the moment, because it's spicy enough. I'm going to jump on board with Wade Hallett and just try and guess what's going through his mind right now. He's thinking, I want full points out of this race, McEwen. I've come here and I've put on the lead and I'm here in the championship. Giving the dog a bone. That's what he's doing. But he's going to try and get the switch back there. It's not going to work. McEwen is savvy to it. And I tell you what, there's no more savvy driver around the AK paddock than Mr. Alex McEwen. I've gone on about it before. He is my man crush in this server. Can drive the boy. Wade Hallett has definitely got his hands full trying to get around this guy. But all this battling is sort of narrowing the gap behind. Ryan Kennedy is the man in third position at the moment. And he's got about an 8-second gap, so it's probably a bit too much of a gap maybe to expect him to challenge the two up front. But you never know. When there's a heated battle going on, it can really slow down your lap time. So maybe a second a lap, maybe more. Tell you one man who's hoping for a bit more for a second a lap. Look at that car. That is absolutely fucked. I'm dropping my first F-bomb for the night. Look at that thing. Holy moly, Nick. He did not expect to have a car in that condition only 10 minutes into this first race of the evening. That is unreal. There's a bit of swapping for positions back down the field here with Jesse Lenolle and Eliza Jackson. These two came together very early in this race, so we're going to see whether the respect has been brewing or if there's a little bit of anger driving from the blue car behind. Only time will tell, but they are nose to tail at the moment. Just keeping an eye on things up the top of the timing table, as McEwen has stretched out just about a second's lead over the Mallet. Ryan Kennedy dropped another second in that last lap, so we're probably not going to see another challenge for that top step of the podium, or even the second one. But I'll tell you what, Nick Mello would be pretty happy to claw back a podium after what happened to him early in the race. Looks like Jesse Lenolle has just gapped Jackson at this time, so we're going to go and check on our championship leader and just see what sort of damage he's dealing with at the moment. Doesn't seem to be any suspension damage, thankfully. Although he might just be struggling in the straight line department. Not that these cars have much aero, but I think the way AC works is they just dock you a bit of top speed sometimes when you got a bit of damage. So he has taken a couple of tenths out of Kennedy, but as they say, it's one thing to catch up, and certainly another thing to get an overtake done. We're going to see ride with Mello for this lap. Get a listen to his downshifts. This guy is using a H-pattern shifter at home, and he is pretty sure he's heel towing as well, because that's what he likes to do. So let's get an idea of what he's doing with these engine revs. You can hear the rev matching going on, and he is now caught up to Ryan Kennedy in front, and the battle is on. He's right up right up behind that red 86 in front of him, and he's got 3.5 minutes, or just over 3 minutes, to get this move done. And that's about as high as he will get on this grid if he can do that. So he does have time. He doesn't have to do anything silly straight away. He can sit back behind here and sort of assess where Ryan is fast and where he might be vulnerable for an overtake, perhaps. He'll be just counting his chickens back here and just taking notes to see how he takes. Let's see just how he takes turn one. Takes it wide, misses that apex, and I think this could be an opportunity if he can get that power down and he can just sneak up the inside here. I think there might be a move coming. He's tried to dummy the fake. He's going to go around the outside. Ryan Kennedy just shuts the door and goes defensive. But he gives him a bit of a bump there, and play on, boys, as you were. There was no damage, no foul there. So Ryan Kennedy definitely driving in his mirrors now after he's been given a little bit of a hurry up from our man Nick Mello. He's going to try just that sort of later apex here into turn 7, sorry. And he's got the overlap here, so this is going to be interesting. In real life mode, yep, he's done the right thing and backed out, but it looks like they've both backed out, and Nick Mellow's hit the inside wall at turn 8. Definitely not what he wanted right now. This is not going well for him tonight. Luckily to his advantage, there is still another lap after this one. Where are our leaders? Still haven't passed the line, so this will be the second last lap. When they've crossed the line, that will be the last lap. Hallett has got McEwen. Something I did not notice. Thank you for that, JP. You're racing. I assume that's you, Parky. When are you going to jump in? And are you jumping in next season with the Caterhams, mate? Timing tower doing funny things there. It said Mello had actually overtaken Kennedy, but as we were watching it, you could see that that was not the case. The left side of that car of Mello's is absolutely destroyed. Look at that. The damage model on these cars is very well done. Whoever built this mod, as the kids are getting yelled at in the background. Shout out to Mrs. Munro back there. Not enough power in him. Fair call. He likes him quick and powerful, does Jim Park. Now, back to this race. It looks like Hallett has just done enough here. He's going to be coming around the final turn. And that will be a huge chunk taken out of Nick Mellow's lead for this championship. And race 1 of the evening goes to Nick Mallet. It's Wade Hallett, the Mallet. Alex McEwen coming across the line in second position. Ryan Kennedy holds off a fast finishing and recovering Nick Mello, who had an absolute shocker. He was right there in the box seat, had a massive accident. Tyler Craig coming across the line, top 5. Jesse Lenol, top 6. Had a bit of a tangle up with our man here, Elijah Jackson. It is the hardest name to pronounce. I don't know why. Angus Wells. Angus Wells will finish the race in 8th. Joe Gillespie has DNF'd by the looks of it. DNF. He's dynamite. There you go, Puggy. Nick Mallet. It's a good name. And Cooper Roundtree has entered the server and was just trundling around at the back. So we'll hopefully see him in race 2. We'll park it there. That's a nice looking shot of the chicane. Very good. And that is race 1. One and done, really. Hallett first, McEwen second, Kennedy third, Nick Mello 4th, Tyler Craig 5th, Lenol 6th, Jackson, Wells, Gillespie and Roundtree round out the top 10. And that was an exciting race. I'll tell you what, if the live standings were up, I'd have a look, but we have to wait until... Yes, thank you, Tyler Craig. I will do that next time. Accidentally hit drive earlier. Yeah, I know you're talking to me. Thank you. I'm sorry. 2 weeks off and it's done me absolutely no good. But we will be back, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, everyone. Anyone else want to tell me? No? Good. Everyone at home, go and refill your drinks. Refill your whatever it is that you need refilling. Come back in a couple of minutes for race 2, where there will not be a broadcast car sat in the middle of the track. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do it this way. We're going to click on Tyler Craig first. And then we're going to do that. That's how I should have done it in the first race. But because I'm retarded, I hit the drive button. And then because I'm doubly retarded, I didn't move it once the race was going. Anyway, best not to stop at the scene of the accident. We will keep charging on here at Wednesday Cup, presented to you by AK Racing. I am Chris Munro. I am your commentator for this evening and for every evening that I am not really sick, like last week. Still getting over it, to be honest. This has been one of the longest running sicknesses in the history of humankind. Apart from Christianity, obviously, but we'll get to that another time. Nick Mello off the front row with, looks like Tyler Craig. Nick Mello, Tyler Craig, Ryan Kennedy and Alex McEwen behind him. It is a top 5 reverse grid. Then we have the Mallet and Jesse Lenole, Elijah Jackson. Joe Gillespie doesn't look like he's returning for more. And Angus Wells, and I think Cooper Roundtree has joined the service, so he is here, ready for some action. So there will be 2 of the blue Sparko cars to confuse me. Very good. Now, who are we going to focus on? We're going to focus on Nick Mello to start, because he's going to want to make amends in this race right now. He's got a championship on the line. He might be behind, but we got lights on, and we are away. And we've got a great start there from Nick Mello. He is going to, looks like he's going to cover across Tyler Craig, and he will take the whole shot into turn 1. Again, Ryan Kennedy up the inside is going to have a look at whoever that was in front of him, and he's going to take third place, and it looks like Alex McEwen is sitting behind him. So let's jump back here. At the front, we have Nick Mello, followed by Craig, Kennedy, McEwen, Hallett, Lenole, Jackson, Roundtree, and Wells is bringing up the rear. Everyone gets through cleanly. It looks like Mello is now stretched out a 1 second lead already to Tyler Craig. We're going to jump back here with Jesse Lenole, who is at the back of this little train of about 4 cars in front of him, all lined up behind Tyler Craig. So it looks like Ryan Kennedy's going to be the first one to have a look at Tyler Craig. Someone pulling out of the slipstream down there. It looks like Alex McEwen just wants to spot his, braking and turn-in mark. I'm not too sure if you need to brake in these cars for turn 8, but you certainly need to turn in. If you don't, you'll be making very good friends with the outside barrier. And it looks like Kennedy is outbraked himself and overshot the hairpin there at turn 9. Hasn't lost any positions because of it. There was a bit of rubbing and racing. I was going to say rubbing and tugging, but we don't do that or promote that here at WC AK Racing. Anyway, McEwen is right under pressure from the Mallet. He's ducking and weaving and looking for a way to get through. Oh, hangs it out sideways as well, which is going to hurt his momentum. We're going to ride on board with Jesse Lenole and watch these two battling it out right in front of our eyes. Hallett has got the taste of victory. So there's blood in the water here in this championship. And I'll tell you what, I would not want to be trying to defend from him at this point in the race. Tyler Craig and Nick Mello has fallen off the track. No, it's just AC timing tower things doing what it does best and throwing me off into the deep end. You do have to turn in. You certainly do, unless you could do a bit of NASCAR or wall riding and just follow it around the outside and hope for the best. Yee-haw, is what they say. But as we get a nice view of the field streaking down the back straight, we've got Mello, Craig, and Kennedy as your top 3. McEwen and Hallett round out the top 5, and McEwen has just slapped the wall there. which is going to invite Hallett for a bit of a send. He half thought about it too. I could see just him pulling out of that slipstream and sort of moving under braking towards the inside. Could not get it done this time. Alex McEwen has outbraked himself there, and he's missed the apex by a mile. That's going to invite Hallett right up the inside here. He's going to try and make a little switchback here at the second last turn, and here comes the send. You better believe it. Oh, he's just thought about it, and Alex did a great job of just half covering it off and made Hallett think twice about just fully sending it through. And that is another lap where McEwen will hold on to that fourth position. Meanwhile, Nick Mello is 2 seconds out in front. Tyler Craig in no man's land in second. He has got a second to make up for Kennedy in third. And then it's this little battle that we see on track now with Hallett and McEwen. Oh, now we've just caught it. And there goes Hallett. He has hit the same one. Oh, he's going to have to stay there for a second. There's cars coming, son. And there is the secondary Sparko car doing exactly the same thing in the background. That is not a great corner for the Team Sparko as it is in this race. But I tell you what, the tables have turned now. Last race, we had Nick Mello doing exactly the same thing and handing the win to Wade Hallett, and now it's exactly the same way around. Wade Hallett has hit the exact same spot in the track. Can you believe it, people? And now we've got Nick Mello streaked out in front by 2.5 seconds. Oh my lordy lord, what are we going to do here? I'm going to have to look at the points after this race because I will need to know where these guys need to finish in that third and final race to secure this championship. This is unreal. You cannot write the script for this, ladies and gentlemen. There is oil on the track. Jimmy Park. I've just been out there during the break, just trying to make things a little more interesting. Tipping a bit of that 1040 on the track as Wade Hallett just makes up an easy position there around Jackson. I think Jackson didn't want to make too much hard work for him. Just sort of sidestepping out of his way to send him on his way. Maybe, where is Nick Mallett coming? Nick Mallett is winning everything with a name like that. Just winning life somewhere. I don't know what exactly he's doing. He's just strutting down the street. Pulling out big wads of cash from the pokies, perhaps. Who knows? But we've got Kennedy right up behind Tyler Craig. So this battle has come about really quickly. The timing tower, I think, is doing funny things again, so I'm not going to shy away from this battle here. We're going to ride on board with Kennedy and see where he might set up this pass. Will he poke the nose up before turn 8, or will he just sit in behind and try and get a good exit? Oh, Tyler Craig takes that turn very nicely and avoids the wall too, so that's going to keep him in front for now. There's not really much Kennedy can do from back there except try and shorten that gap, which he's done out of turn 9. That's really good work there through the hairpin. You see Tyler Craig taking a bit of a different line through there. He sort of clatters over that exit curb, which seemed to work for him, to be honest. At the time I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, yeah, Kennedy's got a great line through there, great exit as well, but then the line Tyler took just really put a couple of car legs on him through that exit. So plenty of different ways to get around this track. I wouldn't have thought of going over that exit curb. Not to say that isn't the best way, but see, Kennedy does take a good line through there, and he has made up a bit of that ground again, but the gap is 4/10. Excuse me. Tell you what, you think you're not that sick until you have to speak for 2 hours straight, which I don't have to do too often. But that big slide on the exit has invited Kennedy up the inside through the staircase, and he's going to have the inside line for the final turn of the staircase, and that's going to be the position done. That's Kennedy up to P2. They're both side by side, but Kennedy does have the inside line for turn 8, and you have to have bollocks the size of a football to go around the outside of turn 8. Is he going to do it? No, he doesn't. and wisely slow as they both hit the outside wall. They both hit the outside wall there. Tyler Craig's going to try and set it up the inside. Not going to work. Looks like Alex McEwen has joined the chat, and he will be right up behind both of these guys. Well, he is there, as we can see. He's giving... What looked like he's flashing the lights there at Tyler Craig. Hurry up, he says. Get that blue thing moving. Jim Park asks, are there any track limits? There certainly are. The guys are using real penalty, as we do on all our servers now. And they're fairly relaxed track limits through the first turn. But they do get 5 warnings, so you might see some drivers maybe using a bit of a tactical warning here and there to perhaps stretch a lead or stretch a gap where they need to. But in saying that, everyone's got the same amount of warnings, and you don't want to really use them all up in case you need to use one when you have a bit of an accident or something. As you can see, Alex in the background there having a bit of a moment. The arse end of these things do like to kick around a little bit, so you have to have very good car control to drive these things on the limit. And we've seen now after 2 seasons that our top drivers here at AK Racing Wednesday Cup have got a good idea on how to drive these things on the limit. And they really do. As I was listening to Laurie last week, who was commentating in my stead, saying that they seem to get the rotation done early and sort of back the car in and then feed on the power and slide it on the way out. It's really true. I've had a drive of these cars, and you get that early rotation, sort of get the car sliding early, slide into the apex, and then slam the throttle down, and you will propel out the other side of the turn. Very much, I guess it's almost go-kartish. Get that early rotation and push through the turns, but Kennedy's put of 1.3 seconds now on Tyler Craig, who will be under threat again from Alex McEwen, who we've seen him do a couple of little mistakes here, and that's the fastest lap from Wade Hallett so far in the race. That's something that needs to be worth mentioning as well, that pole position and fastest laps are worth a championship point. So Wade Hallett did take pole in the qualifying, so that is 1 point more to him. So that was down to 10 points gap after the qualifying, and then after the first race he won. Nick Mello came 3rd or 4th. I really should know. I think he came 4th. I'll have to check these standings afterwards to confirm. But all I can say is there is most likely a B's dick in between them as it stands now, with Nick Mello winning this race by a comfortable margin of like 4.5 seconds now. You'd really have to have a bit of bad luck to throw that away. And it looks like the mallet is going to shove that mallet handle right up the inside there of Jesse Lenol, and Lenol doesn't put up too much of a fight against it. He says it's probably best for him just to sit in the slipstream here of Hallett and try and make up a bit of ground, maybe to the back of McEwen. In saying that, it is a 5-second gap to McEwen, and there's only about 4 minutes to go, so maybe 3 laps left in this race. Hallett probably, you know what, 5th is probably as good as he's going to get. So this championship is once again blown wide open. We've got McEwen now up on the back of Craig. Looks like there's a bit of, maybe not so much damage as I thought, but there's a fair bit. There was a bit of damage on that anime-looking thing there. Goodness me, the Weeb Mobile. Shocking. Anyway. He's only got 6/10 to make up, so he'll be looking for a podium in the latter stages of this race. As we look behind, it looks like Lenol has not let Hallett get too far in front either. He's just sort of sticking with him. We probably didn't expect that as Hallett's been throwing down fastest laps of the race previously before that. But now Lenol really keeping up, and he might even be in a position to throw it up the inside. Is there? No, there isn't. It's just the timing tower playing tricks on me. Nick Mello is in the lead of this race. I'm pretty sure. Yep, there we go. I've got to... I guess I've just got to... got to anticipate is the word I was thinking. Whether these position changes are true or not. Wells and Roundtree. It looks like Roundtree has parked it up for the remainder of this race. You only got one more lap to go, Cooper, mate. Get out there. Anyway, McEwen is side by side with Tyler Craig coming up into turn 4. He's going to have the inside, and he's actually just driven around the outside there at turn 4 and will lead into turn 5 and the rest of the staircase. And a lovely little drift too, to say thank you very much for that position. And the final step on the podium with maybe 1 lap to go. 2 laps. This will be the second last as Nick Mello is just on the back straight now heading towards turn 8. Makes it through nicely. His car is in a lot better nick this race than it was last. Where are you? That one. A lot better nick this time. It looks like it's hardly touched. Brand new. Oh, maybe a little scuffing around the back there. He might have had a bit of a love tap there at the start of this race. Mind you, he did start at the front. So you'd expect that's where the damage would be. Maybe Tyler gave it to him. Big possibility there. As we can see, Tyler now still he hasn't let McEwen go. It's been a bit of a common theme. An overtake gets done, and then the guy sort of just doesn't go away behind. Tyler Craig got one more lap now to get that third position back off Alex McEwen. Let's see if he uses that. Been any tactical? No, he does the right thing. Maybe he's used up all of his chances already. You only get 5. On the 6th one, you do get a drive-through penalty. And I'll tell you what, in a short format race like this, that will definitely put you back to last. As Angus Wells just coming up on getting lapped, and he gets out of the way nicely. Well done there to you, Angus Wells. Blue flag skills, 11 out of 10. But we're going to... I think that must be it there for the podium. I don't think Tyler can make up a second in the second half of this lap, pending any sort of disaster from Alex in the turn 8 region. But here we have our winner for race 2 is Nick Mello. And he's just made up a heap of points from last race. He might even find himself back on top in this championship. Something probably he wasn't thinking about after that disaster of a first race. He probably thought that could be it for him. He's fought gallantly throughout the season. And it's all come to... Oh, that's a lovely little drift there around turn 9 as well. Absolutely. And that is race 2 winner, Nick Mello. Nice little slide across the line. Ryan Kennedy comes across the line in second. Alex McEwen third. Tyler Craig fourth. The Mallet fifth after an absolute shocking bit of luck there. Just tapping that outside wall at turn 4. Jesse Lenol in 6th. Elijah Jackson coming across the line in 7th. Angus Wells 8th. Another top 10 for Angus. Hands together. And Cooper Roundtree has had enough towards the end there. He had one more lap to go, but he decided to park it. Maybe we'll see him back in race 3. Probably not. But let's see. The guys are doing a few drifties now. Oh, very good car control from the guys. Oh, this is nice to see. Yep. Hang it out loose. Coming in next week will be the drift challenge with the 86ers. Find a drift playground or something to chuck up there and let the boys go mad. We've got Nick Mello wins that race with Kennedy and McEwen rounding out the podium. Craig, Hallett, Lenol, Jackson, Wells, Roundtree, Gillespie did not come back for any more, and these are all the drivers that are signed up to this championship that couldn't be bothered turning up for the last round. Take note. It's hard going out here sometimes. But it's good to see that we do get 10 in the server. It has been better throughout the season, but the the cricket's starting, or the cricket's on. So I guess that's what they're doing right now. But we will be back, ladies and gentlemen, for the final round. I will check the standings, the live standings as they are, and I will report back to you at the start of the third race to see who needs to finish where to seal up this championship. All right, we will return very soon. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, and I've checked the standings, and Nick Mello now has a 13-point lead over Wade Hallett. So that's going to be very hard to make up unless there is another disaster. But what we have here is Nick Mello starting 7th on the grid, and that Wade Hallett is 3rd, so he is going to, or 2nd, sorry, he's going to possibly get the whole shot and get to the lead very quickly. And it'll just be up to Nick Mello to see how fast he can actually get to the front. And make he just has to be safe, really. He just has to finish in the top 3 or 4 to seal up this championship. Hallett will be spewing after that last race because there was 2 points between them before that last one. So had he held on and made a challenge of it, it might have stayed. It might have been even, to be honest. But as it is, our championship leader is Nick Mello. Here he is here. Sitting on the grid patiently waiting. So we've got 24 seconds till the start of this race. I'd just like to thank everyone for tuning in this season. It's been a bloody awesome season to watch and to commentate on, and it's been a privilege to everyone out there who's joined in through the season. And I hope you guys enjoyed the final race of the season. We have all the lights on, and it is time to race, and it is Wade Hallett with a great start over Jesse Lenole. He's going to just slot straight in the lead there. Lenole looking to just cover across and take the racing line through, and it looks like Tyler Craig's going to push up on the inside behind them. We will be back with the standings here. We've got Tyler Craig 4th, Kennedy 5th, Nick Mello is 6th. My car is off track. Thank you, Jim. And Nick Mello has made his way up to 5th already, but Hallett is in the lead with Jesse Lenole chasing him 3/10 behind. Alex McEwen in 3rd, and a slight gap to the rest of the field here with Craig, Mello, Kennedy chasing him as well. Jackson and Wells behind them, so we've lost a couple more races for this last race, but that's all right. 8 is all you need to have a decent battle. As you can see, Jackson and Wells just off there in the distance making their way down. They must have just been looking at the awesome scenery here in Adelaide and missed the start of the race, but that's okay as it happens. Nick Mello looking around the outside. We're going to just ride on board here. He has to open up the steering because Tyler Craig taking that line where he just sweeps all the way out to the outside. Mello knew that and had to just get out of it a little bit because he knew that his prime objective here is to stay clean. He doesn't need to win this race. This is him in safe mode. Let's see if he can just pull it up on the inside. No, he just takes it easy. He's going to wait for a mistake to come his way, and that's probably the smart idea. Just want to have a quick look at standing. So it's, as we say, it is 13 points between them, if I'm correct. So that would be 6th or better for Nick Mello, but that's not including fastest lap. So Mello, as it is, if he stays in 5th, should have the championship. But if he can make progress towards the front, and then that is just putting the icing on the cake or the nail in the coffin, whichever side of that you sit on. We're going to go on the outside because we're going to look at Kennedy closing in from behind. There's a nice little three-way battle forming between those three guys, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Looks to be where the battle is right now, and Nick Mello's right up behind. Oh, that's wide. He's just avoided contact with that wall, and he's just for shits and giggles taking himself away from that wall and come on the inside and maybe just taking a bit of a defensive line because he can see Kennedy in his mirrors. And if he loses that position to Kennedy, I'll tell you what, the championship is wide open once again because Wade Hallett is 2 seconds out in front of Jesse Lenole. McEwen chasing him, he's only 2 cents behind. So Nick Mello hoping to get around Craig, but I tell you what, Tyler is not making it easy for anyone back there. He's going defensive straight away, and Wade Hallett getting the fastest lap of the race early, a 1:39.666. Very good number there. Iron Maiden will be pleased. And Nick Mello makes that move into turn 1 and gets it done cleanly. So that will be him up to 4th, and that is the championship done and dusted if they stay the way they are right now. But as we've seen in Wednesday Cup before, 13 minutes is a long time. Anything can happen. Ryan Kennedy lining up behind Tyler Craig as we speak. So he's going to be looking to just get around this car and maybe put a bit of pressure on Mello as well. I don't know who has given who any sort of brown paper bags before and after qualifying. It's just sort of, I'm not saying that the races are fixed here, but look, it is Adelaide. Alex McEwen up behind Jesse Lenole by a 10th, so he's probably going to look at breaking out of that slipstream and chucking it up the inside, which he does not do. He takes a sensible option. He's just going to try and cut down that gap and maybe even look into the final turn. We're just going to ride on the centre console and see what he does. He's got a very good exit out of there, so he's going to be up pretty close when it comes to this final turn. Look for a sort of a late apex and get to the inside of the track. Maybe, maybe not. No, he doesn't want to take any more risks than is required. Alex, very sensible driver. Wade Hallett has now stretched the gap to 3.5 seconds, so he has almost checked out. That will be all over bar the shouting. Alex must have... Tell you what, that was a code brown. There was not much in between him and that inside tyre barrier. Holy shit, that was close. But the battle continues. And just looking behind, Mello and Kennedy. Kennedy has got past Craig finally. I did miss that. Of course I did. There's only 8 cars on track, so I will... of course I will miss some of the overtakes. Still getting used to this. After 2 weeks off. Poor old daddy is sick still. Tyler Craig, only 6/10 behind Kennedy now. So again, it's that old thing. Once you get overtaken, it's hard to sort of break that slipstream. And he is still there, whereabouts, or thereabouts, should I say. And looking up ahead, it looks like Alex McEwen is very close to the back of Jesse Lenol. Not quite close enough to make a move yet. Oh, Lenol takes a big slide there, and that is going to give all the encouragement that's needed to Alex. He's going to just block him there on the inside. Now, if he can drive around the outside here, Lenol's going to have to just get out of the throttle a bit, and he's done that. We're going to go jump on the outside and see what's actually happening on track. And what is actually happening is Alex McEwen getting past Jesse Lenol there into the final turn. As you can see, the car's backing up there behind, and it's still Tyler Craig behind Ryan Kennedy here. These guys aren't finished yet. Where can I put this camera? On the top of the lid. Way big slide. He's drifting. He's held onto it. Well done. Well done. Hallett is back in the field. Hallett is behind Kennedy. Is behind Mello, sorry. Hallett's had a shocker. He's decided he's going to try and get his hands dirty here with Nick Mello. And that is surely the championship done for the Mallet. He had a 4-second lead. I didn't see what happened, but he's obviously got a bit of damage here at the front of this 86. Yeah, his bonnet's flapping. He has hit the wall hard somewhere. It's sad to see, but that is the end of that championship hopes. He kind of needed a miracle anyway. So he was probably just driving the car as hard as he could for one last strap in these 86s. See, Mello knows. He's just going to let him through. Doesn't need to win. Just needs to be a couple of positions behind. So that's good. That's sensible driving there from Mello. He's aware of the situation. Doesn't mean you don't want to finish off the season with a bang and get maybe a race win or a podium of some sort, silver or bronze. They're both quite brag-worthy here at AK Racing, where the best drivers come to race here in Australia. So anyone at home wanting to get your mates into a bit of sim racing, definitely recommend AK. We've got our flagship V8 series that is pretty much continually running. Season 10 is coming up soon, perhaps 4 or 5 weeks away. So that one is going to be huge. And there's some other things happening in the works as well, as we try and bring everyone the best racing possible here at AK Racing. So plenty in the works. Spread the love. We're going to check in on our race leader now. It's Alex McEwen, and he is 2 and a bit seconds clear of second. Jesse Lenol, he'll be looking for might be his first podium of this season. He's been, what I've said, perpetually fourth. There was a few races throughout the middle of this season where he would be fourth, and not only fourth, but fourth by about 5 seconds in front and about 10 seconds behind. So he's just in no man's land for a lot of the time. So he'll be stoked if he can get up on the podium. But I tell you what, he's got Wade Hallett behind him, who is about 1.5 seconds quicker per lap as we speak. And he's in no mood to stick around by the looks of him here. He is going to send it at the first opportunity. Lenol has to wait to turn in, but does the right thing. There was a car there. You can't just turn in when there's someone on the inside of you. So there's very good driving there from Lenol. But now he's got Nick Mello, who's got the red. I think the red mist has descended, even though he knows he doesn't have to keep up with Wallet the Mallet. How am I going tonight with names? Goodness me. He's trying to keep up with the Mallet. Why? Because it's the last race of the season, and there's more than championship. There's a bit of measuring going on as well, I'm sure, in the sheds after the match. Kennedy now lining up behind Lenol. So he's back to his fourth position, I guess, just status quo, where he likes to be. Maybe not where he likes to be, but where he has been fairly often in this series. But it's good to see these guys on track. It's been an absolute pleasure. Get right on board with Kennedy and see how he attacks this overtake that he has been setting up here for a little while. It's a spectacular street circuit. This brings out some good racing. Really technical part here. This is a high risk, high reward section. As you can send it in as fast as you want. Wally Wallet. You know it, Jimmy. Oh, yeah. Just get nice and close there to the back of that pink 86 in front. Oh, excuse me. Me sinuses are well and truly blocked now. It's all about this exit here, I find. If you can get a good exit here, you can really give them the hurry up into turn 8 and maybe even just force a mistake. They go in a bit too deep and brush that wall, and that just gives you the absolute golden ticket up the inside. Oh, as I've said that, Kennedy's brushed the wall himself. So there's not going to be any golden ticket here, but that is a golden send. Oh, yes. How's he made that work with a little bit of a rub as well? It looks like they're still side by side, so Lenol's going to just fire it back up the inside and into turn 11 as well. Oh, the boys are getting into it now. Somehow, Kennedy has come out in front there. I'd like to have a look at that after the race, but Lenol on the grass, he's going to try and send it around the long way. It's just not going to happen. He's got the switchback happening. What an exit. So these two are going to be side by side coming into turn 1. Who's going to cross the line first here? It looks like Kennedy just has the overlap, and he is on the right side of the track. So there's not much Lenol can do here except back off and try and get the run back up into turn 4, where I suspect there might be another. Oh, very squirrely. There is another send coming here. The boys surely. Yes. Oh, they're getting into it. I can't condone that kind of a move, though. That was a bit too far back. Jesus, what's happened here? Mello and Hallett have just come together. Oh, there goes through Lenol and Kennedy. Now, I missed all that. That looks like a bit of tangling up between the championship leaders. Lenol getting out of it. He's decided he doesn't want to get in between the championship fight. Well, there's a point for discussion anyway out there. What do you do? I think it's race on. If no matter what the championships result pending, I think you should just race every race as it comes, and don't be stepping out of the way just because the two leaders are in the fight. But that's my opinion. I've heard others say that no, it's the right thing to do to jump out of the way and let the two guys battle that are in the championship fight. But I don't know. That's a good one to chuck out to the viewers at home. What do you think? Do you let them fight, or do you jump in yourself and try and get make every position count for yourself? Because every race is independent after all. Race on, yes, that's what I think. That's what I think, Jim. But no, it is a contentious point in racing and in sim racing. Looks like Jackson has had a little spill there at turn 9. Probably come in a bit too deep. Oh, he's having a bit of fun now in the last minute of this race. Bit of drifting. Very nicely done. Angus Wells looks like he's going slowly. There's a bit of damage, but it doesn't look like it's terminal. As he's got the field coming up behind him. Alex McEwen has a 10-second lead over Kennedy, who has Hallett, Mello and Lenol within a couple of seconds behind him. So this could be a pretty good fight. If Alex can get across the line in the next 30 seconds, which I think he might, we're going to have one more lap. But it's all up to McEwen now. He can just slow down and cross the line after the bell. Depends what he wants to do. Let's have a look. Looks like he's going to go full pace, and we're going to get one more lap in, which is good. The more laps, the better here, and we can prolong the sadness of a season finishing. As we cross the line for the last lap of season 6 of the Wednesday Cup, this season has been an absolute beauty from start to finish. We've had a heap of cars, and we've had a heap of drivers, heap of different liveries, and a heap of different race winners too. Everyone's had a bit of a slice of the pie along the way. We've raced at some ripper circuits like Bathurst, and we went to Darwin. We went to Oran Park, which is no longer there. I think we were there last week. And Newcastle Street Circuit. It's been the Australian Challenge. It has been the Australian Challenge of season 6 here at the Wednesday Cup. Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure being your commentator for all of this. And hopefully in the future we can just see this series grow and grow to bigger and better heights. As I tell you what, you won't find this kind of racing on a Wednesday night anywhere in the country. Especially with the sort of low budget commentary that I can give you guys. Fueled by no sleep and gin and tonics. Try and give you the best product we can. But here comes around the last couple of corners. Alex McEwen comes around the last corner now. Here we go. He's going to give us a big drifty. Well done, son. Absolute car control there from our race 3 race winner of the evening is Alex McEwen. But we're going to head back here to Ryan Kennedy. He's been great all season, and we'll pick up a second place in race 3. Wade Hallett across the line 4th. But our championship winner and 4th place getter tonight is Nick Mello. Let's hear a round of applause. He's been absolutely unstoppable all season. Even with he had a PC issue at one of the rounds and went a race down. So he's been on the comeback trail ever since then. Hit the lead maybe last round or the round before, and has just done nothing but the right thing in that driver's seat. He's going to give us a little burnout here at... he's right on top of the camera. Let's shift that out. We'll stand up here and watch him do his celebratory winners donuts. They're all getting into it. Ah, what a scene. Congratulations to Nick Mello. Hasn't put a foot wrong all season, and certainly was one of the best cars in race trim. Now, our qualifying hero, and commiserations to Wade Hallett. He was up there for a long part of this championship, pretty much until that last race, or second last race of the series. Has been quick in qualifying all the way through, picking up a hell of a lot of points through pole positions and whatnot. Fastest laps of the race, always one of the fastest guys on track at any one point. But just could not hold on to the lead. That's he was saying in the Discord the other day. He said another lead thrown away. So maybe that's something Hallett can work on in the off season. Nick Mello still is that tyre spinning still? It is. If only he could jump out on top, stand on top of the car there, and that's him back to pits. The expression session is still on. It's good to see the boys having a bit of fun after it's been a long fought season. Oops, wrong button. Let's go and have a look. Let's go up this way. My free cam skills aren't that bad. They're getting better. That's something I can work on in the off season. More smoke CSP. I should do that. My PC will probably start spitting out smoke as well, and we don't want that. But here's the results of race 3. We got Alex McEwen gets the win. Ryan Kennedy second. Wade Hallett, the mallet, comes across the line in third. Nick Mello fourth. Tyler Craig 5th, Jesse the Knoll 6th, Elijah Jackson 7th, I got his name right, Angus Wells 8th, Cooper Roundtree did not participate, neither did Joe Gillespie, Mark Horms, Thomas Wilson, Yendel, all these guys. Where were you tonight? I will be chasing you up, don't you worry about that. But that concludes, whoopsie daisies, that concludes the AK Racing Wednesday Cup Season 6. It's been an absolute pleasure, as I've said, bringing you all these races over the last 6 weeks, or a bit more, because we've had State of Origin, and I was happy to see the Maroons tie that series up in the second game of that. Sorry to all the Blues out there. Next season, we will be back with it's going to be a 2-week break before we are back with the first rounds of the Caterhams. I encourage, thank you, Jim. I encourage everyone to come and have a go. They're quite easy to drive, but they're also quite hard to drive on the limit. So there's something in it for everyone. There's something in it for the beginners, and there is certainly something in it for the experienced driver to get in and have a bit of fun on a Wednesday night. Really, there's no pressure. It's not too serious. So yeah, there's a bit of something for everyone there. But until then, we're gonna have a week off next week. We might put on some sort of special event just to give everyone something to do on a Wednesday. But until then, our next proper broadcast will be in 2 weeks' time when we bring round 1 of the Caterhams. The calendar will be released shortly. Maybe in the next couple of days I'll pop that out. But until then, thank you everyone for tuning in to the stream tonight and across the season. And hopefully we'll see you all back in a couple of weeks to kick off next season with an absolute ripper of a race. So we had a lot of spies in tonight. I've got no idea, Jim. I've got no idea how many is watching. My little analytics tab disappeared, so I've got no idea. I assume there's a few. They're just maybe just a little bit tentative to get involved in the chat, but that's all right. Next time, There's plenty of time for it. But on that note, I will bid you all adieu. I have been Chris Munro, your main commentator for the Wednesday Cup Series, and we'll be back in 2 weeks with the Caterhams. Looking forward to seeing you all then. Good evening.